I can't tell if it's drones or what.
They're not paraseers because
They look big.
UFOs have fueled wild theories for decades, but now, jaw-dropping videos are rewriting the story. From the 2022 Missouri sightings that stunned skeptics and broke the internet, to even clearer, more chilling encounters, we're diving into the most shocking alien sightings ever caught on camera.
What are those? Look up, everybody! Look up! Look up!
Buckle up, because these sightings defy explanation. The Missouri sighting. The 2020 Missouri sighting changed everything. It shook the internet and sparked a wave of questions. Skeptics asked if the aliens were here and even tried to deny what they saw. They wanted to dismiss it as a trick of light, but just a year later, and 667 miles away in Michigan, Ohio, skeptics realized one thing. They couldn't deny the possibility of the existence of UFOs and aliens. On a cool early morning on September 9th, 2023, Mrs. Wright and her husband, Mr. Wright, were still awake at 1:15 a.m. This wasn't the first time the couple would stay awake this long. Mr. Wright loved stargazing, and his favorite time of the night to engage in this passion was when everyone had slept off. The stars were exceptionally beautiful on that night, but then something happened that shook Mr. Wright to his core. He thought maybe his eyes were deceiving him, so he called his wife. Hearing the concern in her husband's voice, Mrs. Wright went out, and her husband asked her to look at the sky. Her eyes widened with what she saw. She saw the beautiful stars, and next to it, a white rite of light. This wasn't a trick of the light. This was something else. The area inside the ring was a dark patch. Where there should have been stars was a void, and from that void, they came. Sparkling objects flew from the void and flew around it. The couple were stunned, but Mrs. Wright snapped out of it to take a picture. Just as another person who saw it, Kim Ford, did and shared the picture. Their picture raised doubts. There were suspicions that it was doctored, but one Michigan resident made a revelation that made doubters keep quiet. She released footage from her security camera which corroborated Kim Ford's picture. Other Michigan residents began to talk about what they saw. Several people said they saw flying objects flying out of the hole and around the area before zooming off. They described the ring that appeared in the sky as a wormhole, which dissolved from the sky after 10 minutes. A couple claimed that around the time the event happened, their dogs were acting weird. This was a strange event, and for many people in Michigan, it would be the first time they would see something like this. However, for others, this event was vindication. Some people had seen this exact same black hole in the sky in June, but because they didn't have pictures of videos, people didn't believe them. The Utah ranch sightings. More people began to step forward. They claimed that this was an occurrence that happened almost every now and then, but people didn't notice because it happened around the times most people were asleep. According to these people, these exact same rings had appeared in other states. People who were around in Utah in the 1950s have a legend about the ring in the sky. They claim to have seen these rings in the sky appear several times over their ranches. These portal rings disappear quickly after being seen, but the ranch owners were worried. They complained to the authorities about it, but that is the thing about UFO sightings. People who report them are discriminated against. Skeptics just assume that they have a mental condition. So, no one did anything. Then things began to get even more bizarre, and local media outlets began to interview ranch owners. These owners told the reporters about how their cows began to get missing after the portals appeared in the sky. They also revealed that they saw strange patterns on the soil and the crops during these periods, But didn't anyone believe them? Without evidence, people were still skeptical, but one ranch owner was determined to prove that they weren't lying. So, he hired an investigator. The investigator waited and watched the skies for days, but nothing happened. It looked like the simplest job he had ever done. The ranch owner was with the investigator on the last day of their contract, as the investigator was preparing to leave. Then, something happened. The skies opened, and the portal the investigator had come to investigate opened right above him, and the sparkling objects flew out with incredible speed. According to that investigator, the ranch owners were not lying. The investigator now also believed, but without evidence, it was just another sighting by another man. Roger's sighting. Getting evidence of sightings had always been a problem. In the 50s, it was the problem of getting proper equipment, and this problem never really went away, even till now. The type of devices that can capture the skies cleanly in the darkness of the night are expensive, and not many people can afford it. So, over the years, ranch owners that tried to get pictures always ended up taking blurring pictures which were easily dismissed. However, they weren't willing to give up. One of those owners, named Roger, got a camera and a tripod. He was going to prove what was really happening on the ranches to everyone. Roger set up his camera and pointed it to the sky. If the portal should open up, he was going to take photos of it. Sure enough, according to him, it did. Roger immediately set to work. He wasn't a trained photographer, but he figured that he knew what he was doing. He took every picture of the infamous flying white things. Roger was pretty pleased with himself. This would end the doubts that followed whatever the ranch owners said. Unfortunately, his pictures came out blurry and looked like an unfocused moon. So, people still doubted those ranch owners. Roger didn't get the wider public support he wanted for the pictures, but his colleagues supported him. They also confirmed what previous ranch owners had been saying. The new ranch owners said, when those flying white objects got out from the holes, they not only spooked the animals, but flew towards them and appeared to chase them. The objects didn't obey any law of physics, which made it difficult to take clear photographs of them. Ron Trona's Sighting More ranchers continued to report having portals on their farms, and usually the reports are about a single portal and white objects flying out of it. However, Ron Trona saw something else entirely. According to Ron, he saw multiple orange-colored circular openings in the sky with objects that looked like drones flying out of them. Ron claimed these flying objects would patrol the property around before returning to the portals they came from. Ron was doubted, and skeptics claimed that he could have seen the aftermath of a rocket launch. He disagreed and reminded doubters that ranch owners had been reporting similar phenomena before he did. While Ron and the others were doubted and dismissed during their time, recent events in Missouri and Michigan have shown that maybe Ron and the ranchers were telling the truth. Maybe aliens are among us. The Missouri Incident. Speaking of Missouri, on the 24th of October 2022, a footage showed a giant spaceship which looked like an upside-down triangle with several lights spun slowly in the sky. The spaceship maintained a steady flying pattern before disappearing into a circular portal that suddenly appeared in the sky. The footage spread through the internet like a wildfire, and some people saw it as a sign that extraterrestrials live among us. However, those that doubt the video believe the aliens won't expose themselves to the public like that. Maybe they wouldn't, but that would be if the aliens would have the same thought process or capabilities as humans. Imagine camping out in the woods and you see a rat going through your stuff. The rat is one of the biggest you've seen, and it just has this confidence. When you charge at it, it runs away with incredible speed. You try to chase it, but the rat is just too fast. Now, picture the aliens as the rat. They could be so confident, in the ability of their ships to easily escape in dangerous situations that they don't mind being seen. According to the witnesses of the sightings we have talked about so far, the flying objects seen have speed that defy logic and can generate and enter into portals. So, in case of trouble, these flying objects could easily zoom off. But according to some reports, these flying objects don't usually take the peaceful route all the time. There have been some reported stories of a battle between aliens and humans. Sightings in Russia. A tale of two battles. After the Soviet Union's collapse in 1991, the CIA acquired several classified documents that the Soviet Union had hidden from the world. One of those documents, a 250-page KGB report, caught the attention of the CIA, and when CIA officials went through it, it sent shivers through their spine. This report detailed an extraordinary event that allegedly occurred during a Soviet military training exercise in Ukraine between 1989 and 1990. According to the document, Soviet troops saw a low-flying, saucer-shaped object hovering above their training grounds. They hadn't seen anything like this before, and in their minds, this was likely an American weapon and launched a surface-to-air missile which blew up the unidentified craft. They thought they had won against their invaders, but they were wrong. They had just made the worst mistakes of their lives. In the wreckage of the aircraft wasn't the dead bodies of American soldiers, but of 5 strange beings who were still alive. They looked human, but their proportions were wrong. They were short, with large heads and black eyes. The soldiers reportedly opened fire on these entities, prompting the beings to merge into a glowing sphere. This sphere then exploded in a blinding flash of light. Sadly, 23 soldiers who were directly exposed to the light turned to stone. The lives of those soldiers ended, but their tales didn't. 2 soldiers survived the incident, and not because they had immunity. When the sphere exploded, they took cover behind nearby structures. The KGB swiftly intervened, transporting the petrified remains and the alien craft to a secret research facility near Moscow. Soviet scientists examining the remains concluded that the soldiers' cellular structures had been altered to resemble limestone. The CIA document remarked on the incident as a horrific picture of revenge on the part of extraterrestrial creatures, showing the potential threat posed by such advanced technologies. While the authenticity of this account remains contested, with some experts questioning its genuineness due to the lack of video or picture evidence, the sensational nature of the claims continues to captivate UFO enthusiasts and researchers alike. It serves as a reminder of the mysteries that may lie beyond our understanding, and it won't be the last of its kind. There are reports of another attack in Russia in 2025. Another Russian attack. On the night of April 9, 2025, a mysterious aerial object was spotted flying over the Moscow region. The soldiers in the region were stunned. As it was captured in footage that quickly went viral, the object was a spinning craft with a red core and a rotating white shell emitting particles. Russian military heads saw this and ordered fire on the object, thinking the object was from Ukraine, who, as of the time this video was made, are currently in conflict. Despite the heavy gunfire, the object appeared to remain unharmed, fueling speculation and debate online that the object was a UFO. However, some commenters suggested the object could have been a Ukrainian RZ-500 helicopter-type drone. But there is a problem with this conclusion. The RZ-500's maximum range is approximately 186 miles. So, it can't have reached Moscow from Ukrainian territory. Some other commenters claim it might have been a Russian helicopter mistakenly targeted by its own forces amid heightened tensions and recent drone attacks. These 2 groups of commenters who don't believe that the object is a UFO say that the object's glowing appearance is because of the Kopp-Etchells effect. This effect happens when a helicopter rotor blades produce a halo of light due to friction with dust particles at night. Still, there is one thing that hasn't been explained yet. How come heavy gunfire didn't affect the object? Drones or helicopters are not bulletproof. The incident occurred during a period of increased drone activity in the region, with Russia reportedly intercepting 48 Ukrainian drones that night. The combination of unusual visuals and the object's apparent invulnerability has left many questioning its true nature. There have been suggestions that UFOs are drawn to conflict, and could this be a UFO that came to investigate the conflict that had been taking place in the region? Also, could this craft be connected to Jake Barber's unsettling revelation? USA UFOs. For decades, discussions of secret government programs and recovered alien technology have been dismissed as conspiracy. However, Jake Barber's unsettling testimony has changed everything. In an interview with investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, Jake Barber, a former United States Air Force veteran and helicopter pilot, revealed his alleged involvement in classified missions. Jake claimed that during the late 1990s, he was dispatched on covert operations to retrieve UFOs. However, there were two missions that were more intense than the rest. In one mission, Barber and his unit transported a smooth white egg-shaped object, which was about the size of an SUV. The craft was different from anything Jake had seen in his career as a soldier. It had no visible seams, no heat signature, and no propulsion system. As if that mission wasn't strange enough, Barber claimed in another mission he retrieved a haunting disc-shaped flying object with 8 defined edges, which he called an 8-gon. But it wasn't just the craft's appearance that haunted him. During the retrieval, someone spoke to Jake. However, this wasn't a voice he had heard before, and to make things even stranger, Jake felt eyes on him. He was certain he was being watched. Jake looked around and arrived at a chilling conclusion. 8-gon wasn't just a ship. It was aware, and it was trying to communicate with him. Unlike other whistleblowers who can't provide evidence, Jake produced a video of the retrieval of the egg-shaped object to back his claims. Do you think this video is real? If it is, it would be one of the clearest videos of a non-human craft in government possession. What is the government hiding? As it turned out, they could be hiding a lot more than we think. According to Jake Barber, the government of the United States has allegedly secretly hired individuals with supposed psychic ability to connect with UAPs. Could this be true? Is this reason why these crafts defy logic, because they are controlled by the mind? Barber continued his mission for the United States, but he began to notice changes in his body. His skin began to peel, hair began to fall off his head, and his heart trembled. The situation got so bad that Jake had to visit the hospital. When he did, he discovered something shocking. His symptoms were consistent with exposure to radiation or an unknown energy source. The retrieval could kill him if this continued. Jake is determined to talk, but an order came from the government. The Pentagon ordered Jake not to reveal classified information. The Pentagon wants any talk surrounding UFO to be shrouded in secrecy. Dr. John T. Kozlowski of the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office admits his team is speaking with whistleblowers like Barber, but publicly, they deny the existence of any program involving non-human craft. Veteran investigative journalist Ross Coulthart, who interviewed Barber extensively, believes this testimony could be the key to unraveling one of the greatest mysteries of our time. However, it is all dependent if the government allows it, but will it? For now, the truth remains hidden in the murk between reality and speculation, waiting, perhaps, to be uncovered. More whistleblowers. Although it doesn't look like the truth would be uncovered after all, Determined to get the government to be transparent, Ross Coulthart approached another whistleblower, and what he found out was disturbing. The All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office had previously created whistleblowing mechanisms to protect whistleblowers. However, according to investigative journalist and podcast host Jeremy Corbell, this isn't the case. Former National Security official Matthew Brown is another man Coulthart had also interviewed, and according to him, he followed the established channels to report something he found out about the Defense Department. He reported that the Defense Department secretly acquired a massive archive of UFO videos and pictures from military sources under a program called Immaculate Constellation. However, his reports were not taken seriously, and tried all he could to get the authorities to act on his statements. Left with no other choice, Brown decided to go public with his knowledge. Will this revelation be the last he would ever make? Brown, ignoring the danger to his life, doubled down on his revelation. He claimed to have seen inexplicable things. Despite all obstacles before him, Brown is hoping for a shot to testify in Congress to reveal what he has seen. So, what do you think about all of these sightings? Are we alone in the cosmos? Let us talk about it in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more content like this.